Should be up. No, let me ask. I'll just find out. Hi, that's Joe. Let me just double check it's definitely started, so hopefully it'll kick in. It's on. Okay. Good, good, good. Good start. Nice. Okay, cool. I'll just give it a minute or so just for people to get joined in. Oh, I forgot that little bot thing just posts it up now. So, yeah. Hang on. Okay. Okay, well, let's put the Twitch link up anyway, so... Oh, there we go. Thanks, Andrew. Just like Joe now. Okay, right, so we shall make a start. Welcome back, everybody. Session 4 now of Minecraft. Hope everybody's keeping well and has had a good week and is enjoying the start of the summer holidays. Just make sure, is everybody ready to make a start now? Does anybody want a few more minutes just to get set up, or is everybody ready? Yeah, so this time we do have a world which I've just posted up in the Discord, which hopefully you should all be able to download and upload into Minecraft. So that'll be the first task tonight. So I'll just let everybody do that for a minute or two, and then we will make a start. Hi Jack, I can see that you're in the voice channel. Hello. Did you manage to get Hoball working in the end? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Hopefully you'll be able to get it back when you start in high school in September. Have you managed to get that world all uploaded into Minecraft? Is it all working? Okay. Okay, good. So we'll make a start. We'll make a start now. So what I'm going to do just to start off with is I'm just going to cover everything that we're going to need to do tonight at the start, because as we all know, last week my internet was not the best. It was a bit problematic, as I'm sure we all remember. So I've adjusted a few settings over the last week in the hope that that fixes it. But just in case it doesn't, what we're going to do is I'm just going to cover everything that we're going to be doing today, now at the start, and then just in case my internet does go off, and then if it does go off, Andrew is on standby to take over just in case. So we have got a plan, just got to hope that we have got a plan B. We just hope that we don't have to use plan B. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through a couple of Minecraft worlds, okay, so a couple of the ones built by the Minecraft education team, because there's a lot of really good ones that are going to help reinforce what we've started learning over the last few weeks, which is of course on things like looping, conditionals, if statements, that sort of thing, which of course we've been doing from the different worlds that we've had over the last few weeks. And it's going to help you ready for next week when we have our final session on Minecraft, where we're going to be doing the challenge. Okay, so obviously next week is going to be the challenge week, and so we need to make sure that we have a good understanding of all these different concepts because we're going to be using them next week. So there are 3 worlds in total tonight. Okay, if you do move through them quicker than what I do, that's okay. Just let me know in the Discord, and I'll post up the next world for you to sort of so that you can carry on. And then if you get through all 3 worlds before the end of the stream, that's really, really good. But what you can do, Jack, I know that it might be harder for you since you haven't got any worlds access to any of those worlds now because your account's been temporarily locked. But you could still just maybe create a new world or something and carry on building in that using the agent, okay? So it's going to just be a focus on programming that agent to do different things. So we're going to start off with that first world, which is in Discord. So that's Coding Fundamentals -2.1. So we're going to be starting off with that. I'm going to load it up on my screen now. As well, if I do disappear, just pop it in the Discord that my audio's gone or something like that, because I can still see it on my MacBook. It's just my PC that has the issues. So hopefully I should still be able to see on my MacBook if I do disappear. Just post a message in Discord and let me know. So we're going to start off in this first world, in World 2.1, which is going to be a bit of an introduction again back into programming our agent to do different things. And then the second 2 worlds actually give you a bit of free time at the end to essentially let you play around with the agent a bit more, do a couple more bits and pieces with the agent so that you can actually get a bit more practice. So there's a little bit more kind of freedom in those worlds. But I'm going to walk through each world and each activity in each world in turn. But then if you do find that you need to move on quicker than what I am, that is absolutely fine. Okay, just let me know in the Discord and I'll get the next world posted up for you. So what we are now, a lot of these worlds this week are based around the theme of space. Okay, so we're going to be sort of like the space theme. So if I kind of wander over, as I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen, there's one of the space shuttles out of the window, okay, which I thought was pretty cool. And we're going to just be basically following the tutorial through like we did a couple of weeks ago, and just kind of working our way through it and seeing how we get on. So I'm going to right click on Commander CAD field, where he just gives us a little bit of an introduction into how we can program our agent to go through a few tests. And remember, you've also got that radio as well. So if you need to restart the activity, you make sure that you've highlighted the radio in the hotbar, and then you just double tap the right click button and it will restart the agent back to the original start point. So that way you'll know, that way you'll be able to restart the activity if you make a mistake or something, okay? So going down now to the first activity, I'm going to hit C so that I'm able to get the agent to appear in the world. And then I'm going to start building up my code. So hopefully this week you should be able, if you're watching if you're watching the stream online, you'll hopefully be able to see the code builder this week with a little bit of luck. And what we're going to do this week is start off with quite an easy one. There's just most of the code is here for us this time. okay, but there's a lot less hints in terms of what the code builder is telling us to do. So you can see it just says the agent needs to destroy and then collect the gold block, okay? So what we need to do is we need to find what the correct code is in order to destroy that gold block, okay, and collect the gold block. Now, I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to try that out, and then before I put in the correct answer, okay? But just to kind of recap on what each thing is doing to begin with. So obviously we've got this on-chat command, okay? So the on-chat command is of course essentially our function, okay? So this is our function, and it's called material. So if we want to run that bit of code, we need to use material. I can see, Alex, that you finished. That's fantastic. If you just you carry on into the next activity, Alex. You carry on. That's absolutely fine. So like I said, what we've got is this blue block, sorry, which is a function, and within that we've got this loop. Okay, this repeats 3 times loop, and we're essentially saying that everything that's inside of that block we want to repeat 3 times. Okay, and then what we're saying then is 3 times we want the agent to move left. So we want the agent to move left by 1 step, and then we get to an if statement. And what it's going to do here, it's going to check a condition. So it's going to be checking if the block that the agent is inspecting in front of him is gold. And if it is, then we would like the agent to then do something with that, okay? But if the block that's in front of him is not gold, then we just want him to ignore whatever's within the if statement and then go back to the start of the loop again, which of course involves him moving 1 step to the left. So I can see, like I said, Alex has already done that, which is fantastic. But I'll give everybody a minute or two just to work their way through that, and then I shall put the solution up on the screen for you. Does anybody have any questions so far, or is everybody pretty okay? I think this is quite a nice little introduction, so I'm sure a lot of you will already have flown through this one. Okay, so I'll give everybody just a minute or so to finish that one off, and then we'll carry on. Right. Okay, so I'll pop up the solution now for us all to sort of have a look at. So of course, what we're going to be doing, like I said, we're using this if statement, we're using this condition, okay, and we're stating if this condition is true, then we would like the agent to do something. And of course, the objective here is to get the agent to destroy and then collect the gold block. So naturally, what we would like the agent to do, if the block that's in front of him is gold, is we would like him to destroy the block that's in front of him, and then we want him to collect it. And that is all we need to do here, okay? Because the rest of the code has already been built for us. So if I hit the run button, press T on the keyboard, and then type in material, and hit enter, he's checking if the blocks in front of him are gold, and as soon as he finds that gold block, you can see now it's gone to, he's destroyed it, he's collected it, and it's in his inventory, okay? So the agent has now collected that block, so we can now move on to the next zone. So the point of this activity now that we've got is we need to try and get the agent, okay, who's now here, to reach the gold block, which is at the end of the track. So once again, we're going to be making use of these conditionals, okay? So you'll probably note that this time we've still got a little bit of code to work with, okay? It's still given us a little bit of code that we need to use. But this time we're using a while loop. Now, a lot of you might remember that a while loop checks whether or not a condition is true before it executes what's inside of it. And whilst that condition is true, it will keep executing the code that's inside of it until that condition becomes false, okay, until it's no longer true. However, we also, of course, the idea here is we want the agent to be able to reach a corner and turn so that it reaches the gold block at the end of the track, essentially, okay? So as a little hint, as well as using that while loop, we'll also need to try and make use of an if statement, okay? Because of course we're going to be checking two separate conditions here. We're going to be checking whether or not the path that the agent is on is made of stone, and we also need to check whether or not the agent is at a corner, okay? So I'm sure a lot of you might have already got through this activity, which is fantastic, but for those of you who haven't yet got there, I will just give everybody a few minutes to try work their way through that, and then we will see how we get on, and then we'll move on to the next activity. Okay, so hopefully everybody's getting on okay. Feel free to post some screenshots in Discord once you complete an activity. I'd like to see how you're all getting on and things as we're working through it, so let me know if there's anything, and let me know if you have any questions about anything as well. But I think a lot of you now are really starting to come to terms now with all these different programming principles. Okay, everybody's getting used now to building up that sequence of instructions, building up the algorithm, and making sure that we've got the most efficient code possible within our scripts. Okay, so hopefully, I think everybody's doing a really good job with that. So well done. Has anyone ever built a rocket in Minecraft before? Probably take me a very long time. You just use slime to make rockets? Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. And redstone. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Some of my my friends and I are now doing like Minecraft Fridays now. So every night we spend some time, like, because I'm still, as you all know, I'm still quite new to Minecraft. So there's a lot of my friends are still a lot of my friends have been playing it a while, so they're teaching me like all the different things that you can do in it. So I'm sure a lot of you are, and I really appreciate all the tips that you've been giving me as well. It's really, really appreciated, because I really like learning all about the different things that you can do. So it's really cool. So, like I said, let's get this algorithm built up for the agent here. So we've got our function, okay, which is called inspect, and we've got our while loop. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we do need an if statement in order to complete this, and we're going to be using an if-else, okay? So a lot of you will probably remember that an if statement with an else after it means if a certain condition is true, then we're going to do one thing, else, if that condition isn't true, we're going to do something else, okay? So what we're going to be checking is whether or not the agent has got a block in front of him, okay? So we're going to be checking whether or not the agent detects a block forward, okay? So what we're essentially saying here is if not agent detect block forward, so if there's no block in front of the agent, then we want the agent to be able to move forward by 1, okay? Else, that means that the agent has reached a corner and needs to turn, so we can say agent turn left, okay? So we're saying if there's no, if not agent detect block forward, so if the agent hasn't got a block in front of him, then the agent can obviously move forward, but as soon as the agent detects a block that's in front of him, the condition of this if statement is no longer true, therefore the agent's going to turn left, okay? And naturally, if the agent were to deviate off of the stone path, then it would mean that he would stop moving, because the condition of the while loop states that the agent's block that's underneath him has to be stone in order for him to proceed. So if we run this code now, you can see that he's off. There he goes. Gets to a corner, and you can see that he's realized now that there's a block in front of him, so he's turning left. There he goes again, he's turning left. And he's reached the gold block, and we're at the end, okay? So that's that activity. So I'd imagine that a lot of you are getting on quite well with that one. Now, I had to go at this next one on Friday with some friends, the navigating a spiral sort of maze activity here. And it took me a while to try and figure out what you need to do, the different bits of code, okay? So I would love to see in the Discord, if you can, if it's possible. I know I know a lot of you are using a lot of different devices, so it might be hard. But if you're able to share screenshots of what code you used in this for this spiral before it disappears, that would be fab. Okay, I'd like to see the types of things that you've come up with. So if I open up the code builder, just kind of go through what the instructions are telling us here. So what it's asking us to do is, while the agent is inspecting the block forward and the block is not gold, okay, then the agent needs to move forward. So we're saying if the agent is looking in front of him and the block isn't gold, then he needs to move forward. If the agent does not detect a block forward, then the agent also needs to move forward, but then it'll need to turn left. So essentially, if the agent detects something that's in front of him, he needs to turn left, because that means he's hit a wall. And then as soon as the agent reaches that gold block, he needs to destroy it first and then collect it. And of course, there's a lot, as you all know, you need to destroy something before you can collect it. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to do that. Okay. Let me know if you have any issues, or if there's anything you want me to cover. As you can see, there's no hints with this one. The code builder is giving us no hints on where to start with this. So if you do need any help starting off, just let me know. But I think you're all doing pretty well, so I think you should all be okay. But if you do need a hand with anything, just let me know. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and have a look around the different stuff that's in this room. GeForce. Does anybody have any interests in sort of like astronomy and space and stuff like that? If I remember rightly, I know some of you watched the SpaceX launch a few weeks ago, a few months ago now, I suppose, even, isn't it? Is anybody interested or enjoy that sort of that element of science? Andrew has recently been taking photos of the comet that's been passing us, which has been passing over us recently, which I'm afraid I have forgotten the name of, Andrew. The Neowise comet, there you go. Andrew's been Andrew's been getting up very, very late, or very, very early in the morning, I should say, to see that. Oliver, the one where you collect 2 blocks didn't work. Okay, which one is that? Is that the last activity? Or is that the one with the maze? Because I know if it's the last one was quite tricky, so. The one with the 2 mazes. Okay. Okay, well, we'll get there in, what I'll do, I'll get through the solution for this one, and then I'll get through to the end one. Alex, did you have any luck with it? Or did you have the same trouble? Okay, that's fine. What we'll do then is I'll run through the solution for this smaller maze one, and then we'll go through how we can get through that second one. Okay, there's quite a lot of code for that one with the 2 mazes, so don't worry. Okay, that's fine. We'll go through it. We'll go through it in just a second then. Okay, so I'm going to just cover this maze one. Okay, so what we've got is a maze, so I'm just going to call mine maze. And of course, what we want to be checking is whether or not the block that's in front of the agent is gold or not, because we don't want the block, if the block that's in front of the agent is not gold, then of course what we want them to do is be able to actually progress, otherwise we would like them to destroy and collect it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use while loop, just seeing some code from Oliver coming through. Let me have a look before I carry on. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so Oliver, you are actually really, really close with that. Let me have a think. Okay, whilst I'm working through, I'll give you some hints whilst I'm working through this other solution. So, have a think about. So what you might notice is that the agent is essentially doing the same thing twice. I know this one is a really hard one. It took me a while to get it to actually work. The agent is doing the same thing twice. Okay, so maybe think about, instead of having 2 separate while loops, have a think about maybe using a repeat loop with a while loop inside of it. Okay, so that you're nesting them. Okay, and in addition to that, you are actually really, really close, but you could potentially, instead of using two separate if statements like you are in that second loop, use an if else. Okay, then might try and think about how you could use an if else. So have a think about nesting the loops. So use a repeat loop and use a while loop, and have a think about how you could use an if else statement to try and simplify that code a little bit. Okay, I'll get to the solution in a little while, but have a little think about that in the meantime. Okay, so like I was saying about this maze, what we're going to be doing is checking whether or not the agent is in front or behind of the gold block. So we can use another one of these. Oops, not that one. Sorry. We could use from the logic menu. We can use the equals. We can use this equals to block, and what we can do is we can check whether or not the agent, when it inspects the block that's in front of him, whether or not it's equal or not to the gold block. So I'm going to select whether or not it's equal to the gold block. So I'm just going to get the gold block, and I'm going to obviously say agent inspect block forward. So the condition of the while loop is essentially while agent inspect block forward not equal to gold. Okay, so whether or not it's not equal to gold, we're going to be using an if else. So essentially we need to be checking whether or not the agent can detect a block in front of him, because if he can, that means that he needs to turn in a certain direction, but if he can't, then that means the agent can just proceed forward because there's just, I guess, air in front of him. So we can use another one of these nots from the logic menu, and we can say if agent not detect block forward, okay, then we would like the agent to be able to move forward by 1. Else, of course, we want the agent to turn left because he's reached a wall. Okay, and then once he turns, obviously he's not going to have anything in front of him, so he can just proceed forward. Once the agent... Oh, you've done it, Oliver. Well done. Fantastic. I can see, Alex, that you've put some code up in there as well. Sorry, I missed that a second ago. Again, you are quite close, but have a think about using that repeat loop as well and nest the while loop inside of it, but you are very close. Like I said, I will get to the solution in just a second, okay? Oliver, in the meantime, if you want to move on to the simulation room, that's like a little bonus room, okay? It's a way that you can program your agent to essentially find all the gold and collect all the gold blocks. If you want to move on to do that in the meantime, go for it, okay, before we move on to the next world. That'll be like the final activity from this world then, okay? So essentially, like I said, what we then want to do is we want the agent to destroy the block that's in front of him, okay, and then collect it. So as soon as he reaches that gold block, we then want him to collect it. So I'm going to run this code now, and hopefully it works. So he's off. So at the moment, of course, there's only air in front of him, so it's not going to, he's just going to keep on going. Okay, so he's off. Here he goes. Takes quite a while to get there. I know, Alex. Yeah, that is. I know that was something that I found as well on when I was testing it out last week. Was that it's a bit tricky to see what he's actually doing because you can't actually get in there to see. But what I'll do, I'll run through the solution with you now. Daisy, welcome. Don't worry about losing track of time. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, if you want to carry on with the first tutorial, restart the YouTube video if you like. Go back to the start, and and just kind of have a playthrough from there. It builds you into it, so you should be okay. And I cover each step as well to make sure that everybody understands the different concepts. So absolutely. And if you do, there you go. So that's good point by Andrew. Um, yeah, I guess in terms of space and whatnot, there is a lot of stuff where you can't actually physically be present, I suppose, in the in the actual space station, or you know, where you have to remotely control something. So I guess the challenge with this one maybe isn't so much the code itself, but actually seeing, but actually getting the agent to control what you need to do. So I'll run through the solution anyway. Okay, I'll just pop the solution straight up now. So you can see it started it off here with the 3D on-chat command 3D. So we've got our function, and then we've got our repeat 2 times loop. Okay, so we're going to do some nesting loops today for this particular session, for this particular script. And what's this, Daisy? Alex, even. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Alex, maybe you could, okay, maybe use that radio to restart the activity, and then we'll go through now how to get that agent to actually make it to the end, okay? Because it is a tough one. So we're going to be nesting the loops. So from inside of my repeat 2 times loop, I'm going to have the while loop, okay? And like last time, I want the agent to be checking whether or not the block that's in front of him is gold or not. So from the logic menu, using that equals block, we're going to be checking whilst the agent is inspecting the block that's in front of him, that it's not equal. I know didn't really show that well last time, but the not equal that I'm using is an equal sign with like a line through it, okay? And I'm going to be saying that it's not equal to gold, so that way he just keeps going forwards, okay? So that's the condition of my while loop. Yes, Daisy, I can share that now. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, that's okay. There we go. So Daisy, Andrew will pop that up for you now. Right, let's get back to the code builder. So we've got the code builder here. So so we've got our repeat 2 times loop, which as we discussed last week is essentially a for loop, where it will repeat some code a specified number of times. And within that, we've got our while loop, which will only run code whilst the condition is true. Now within that while loop, we're going to be using another if-else statement to check whether or not there is a block in front of the agent. So once again, we're going to use this not block, and we're going to be checking whether or not there's a block in front of the agent. So while agent not detect block forward, then we want him to move forward by 1, else we'd like the agent to turn left. Okay, so that's our first bit. So that will now get us through the first maze. But of course, we need to be able to get the agent to get through the entire maze. Okay, so what happens after we've got to that gold block is we need him to collect it, and we need him to destroy it, and then collect it. So our agent can destroy the forward block, and this is going to be outside of my while loop now, because of course we're only checking whether or not we're only running the while loop whilst the gold block is not in front of the agent. Okay, so the agent's going to destroy forward, going to collect it, and once he's got that gold block, he's then going to move up by 3 so that he can do the whole thing again. And then what will happen is, once he's moved up by 3 spaces, the loop will then run again, because the outer loop, the repeat 2 times loop, is set to run twice. So as soon as he gets that second gold block, the loop will start over. That first gold block, the loop will start over, and he'll work his way through the maze a second time. And that is all. That was all the code that you need in order to run this this final exercise. Okay, so I'll leave that on the screen for a minute, just so that you can all see it, and then I shall run it, and then we can move on to the next. Move on to the next section. If you have finished it, well done. Okay, so you've just finished that, Oliver. Well done. Fantastic. So we'll move on in just a second to the next world. Okay, I won't do the bonus activity. Okay, that can just be a little challenge for you all to try and complete if you like. But I'll just focus on these main ones. A screenshot, Jack, absolutely. I shall get that done for you. Here you go. There you go, Jack. So that should be in the Discord now. So I've posted that screenshot, so I'll just try and run the code, see if it works. So there he goes. He's off. So Daisy, if you just go up to Commander CAD field, and then just hover like your little mouse, sort of, there's like in the middle of your screen, there's sort of like an X, or like a plus symbol. If you make sure that's over Commander CAD field, and then right click on him, it should bring up his like dialog box. Okay. Okay, so my agent reached it to the end of the world. Okay, so we'll move on now, Oliver, to the next world. Okay, so I'll post the next world up in Discord. Okay. There you go. So this is the next world I've just posted up now in Discord. That's going to be the next world that we do. Okay, so it's block 2. Whoops. It is block code. It will be in Discord itself. It's going to be called Code Fun 2.2. Okay, not in Discord. Sorry, in Minecraft. It's going to be Code Fun 2.2. Okay, you can't get it to work, Daisy. What's coming up, Daisy? Is it just not letting you right click on him at all? It's not letting you right click. Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So for everybody who's finished the first world, I've posted the next one in the chat now. It's called Coding Fundamentals 2.2. And Daisy, I'll just post up the first world again, so that you can, just in case there was a problem with the one that Andrew put up. There you go. So Daisy, that should be up there now for you. If you want to So if you'd like to re-download that world, and then import that into Minecraft and see if that lets you work, see if that works for you. Hopefully, yeah. So for everybody else, Coding Fundamentals 2.2 is where we're going to carry on with now. Yes, so you're in a glass box, absolutely. So the glass box is there now because you're going to be essentially controlling the agent like you're like an astronaut, okay, from like the space station. So you're going to be controlling the agent from a distance, okay? Don't worry, once you've finished all of the I know it's quite an interesting thing, that, isn't it, Alex? The way that it moves sort of slowly backwards and forwards. Once you get, once you've all completed the activities in this world, there is a bit of free time for you to explore the planet at the end, okay? So once you've finished going through the different activities in this world, you'll be able to do that. So we'll make a start going through this one. There we go. Let's get everything. Okay. So I'm going to go back up to Commander CAD field. Here we go. Giving his, so he's just going to give his little bit of an intro. He's going to give a bit of information. Remember, you can use the radio to restart the activity if need be. And then he's going to transfer us into our glass box. And we're going to start essentially programming the agent. So as soon as you press C, you'll notice that the agent appears in the sort of the floor beneath you. And you can see that we're actually being introduced here to a new say block, which we haven't seen before. So it's very similar to Scratch. A lot of similarities here now with Scratch. So you'll be able to see that there are a lot of similarities now between this code builder and the one that you'd see in Scratch. Okay. So you can see now there's a little bit less help, okay, in terms of what you need to do. But we can see that while the agent detects the block down, it needs to move forward. If the agent inspects the block down and finds air, then he needs to use the say. We need to use the say command to say crater found. So essentially, we're going to be saying, whilst the agent is looking down, if it finds the air, then he needs to say crater found. Okay, Daisy. So, Andrew, any tips? So if everybody just wants to work their way through that first activity, okay, and obviously feel free to carry on if necessary, and work your way through the world. Like I said, the end of this world gives you, what do you call it, a bit of free time. So if you do need to, so you can have sort of a bit of a play around with the agent on the actual planet, okay, it lets you actually get out of the glass box. Okay. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, so we'll have a go. I'll let everybody have a little bit of time now just to try and get through this first one. And then in the second, we'll carry on with the rest of the... You've done it, Oliver. Fantastic. So you feel free, like I said, to carry on to the next activity. That is absolutely fine. Keep working your way through. Okay. Don't be afraid to... You can't see the file, Jack. Is it the second world that you need, Jack? Because I can share that again if you need it. Okay, I'll share that again for you. Uh, it's in Minecraft. I shall find out. It is called. Oops. Yeah, the Code Fun 2.2. Okay. So Jack, that is the world that you need now, the second world. Okay. So I'm going to start working my way through the solution for this first one, and then we'll carry on to the next activity. So, as per the instructions, okay, while the agent detects the block down, so essentially while the agent is checking the block that's underneath him, if it's air, it means that he's found a crater. Okay, so obviously like a massive, I guess you could say it's like a really sort of big hole on the planet that's maybe been created by, I don't know, like an asteroid or something that's smacked into the ground. So we need to find the crater, and of course that would be determined by the presence of the air, of there just being air, because the agent's obviously going to be floating across that that crater because it's not been told to move down. So again, what we're going to do now is we're going to say we're going to use a while loop because we're going to be checking a condition, and we're going to be saying while the agent is detecting blocks beneath him. So while agent detect block down, okay? So essentially while the agent is detecting the block down, so having a look at what's underneath him, okay, he's going to keep moving forward by 1. Okay? Now, of course, we need a way for him to stop doing that. That doesn't work again, Alex. Is that the first activity? Or is it like the second or third one? It says crater found but doesn't do anything. Okay. I'll pop the solution up. If you want to restart the activity using the radio, and then have a go at putting in my solution, hopefully my solution will work, and then you can, and then see if that makes any difference, okay? So, going to be checking it, checking the while loop, okay? It's going to be checking whether or not there's a block actually beneath the agent. And as soon as there's no block beneath the agent, of course we want him to say that the crater has been found. But what we can do is we can use an if statement to do that. So we can say if agent expect block down is equal to block down is equal to air, then he can say crater found. Okay. Also, Alex, you have. Okay. Pull that if statement, Alex, out of the while loop, and then run it. Because what? Let me just make sure that my one works first before I say anything else. There we go. So, what I think is happening, Alex, if this hopefully fixes the problem for you, is yes, as Andrew said, it's about the algorithm order. What is happening with your code, I believe, Alex, is the while loop's condition is still technically true because the block that's beneath the agent is air, okay? So even though your agent has found the crater, that's fine, but the while loop's condition is still true. So what your code, I think, is doing is it's still running the code, okay? even though there's air, even though it's actually finished. Okay, and Oliver, with your code, I think the issue with your I know your code does. Let me take a better look. While agent inspect block down is equal to air, agent moved down by 1, agent destroyed down. Okay, so it should be, Oliver, that that as soon as you reach that crater, there's nothing that you actually need to destroy. So what I'll do, I'll post in Discord now. I'll post a screenshot of the solution, okay, so that you can all see it. So Alex, all you need to do for your code is pull out the if statement and put it underneath the while loop. Okay, I'll put a screenshot up in the Discord now of what you need to do. Oh, cool. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So I can see, Oliver, that you're doing the blue ice one. So I'll get round to doing the solution for that one now. Sorry, I thought you were doing the first one, but looking at your code, you are pretty much there, which is swap agent destroyed down, agent moved down by 1. Mm, yeah. So Oliver, I think you're actually very, very, very close. It's just, again, the solution that's it's the order of the solution. I know there are lots of different ways of doing it. Um, I know it's a little bit frustrating that you've got a completely valid solution, but what it's after, again, is, I think, this idea of like the most efficient code. So although your code is absolutely spot on, it's about what Minecraft, I suppose, want from this is the most kind of like efficient solution. But to be honest, your code is pretty much spot on, so it's very strange why it's not doing it. But I'll pop the mm, yeah, I think you're right, Andrew. Yeah, that should do it. Uh, yeah, try that, Oliver, and hopefully that will fix it. I did the same thing. Okay, I'll pop the solution up now, and then we'll work through the solution again together, and then hopefully you'll have some success with it. Um, so I've got my function here again, okay, and I'm of course going to be running it. So just call this one ice, okay. Um, and again, going to be making use of a while loop, where I'm essentially going to be checking what the So it got to the blue ice and stopped. Okay. Okay. It's worth doing, Oliver. Yeah, absolutely. Because of course you need to, debugging is all part of programming. So, if you need to adjust a few things to go and take a look, that's absolutely fine. Same goes for the rest of you as well. If you do need to debug your code because you're really not sure kind of where it's going wrong, um, feel free to go into creative mode and take a look at what's going on. If you need to get closer to the agent to find out, where he's stopping, why it's not working, um, by all means, do that so that you can actually break through the glass and take a look. Okay. Um, so checking the condition, what we want to be checking is whether or not ice is actually beneath the agent, because if there's no ice beneath the agent, we want him to continue moving down. So I'm going to use that equals block, and I'm going to be saying agent inspect block down, not equal to, and then we'll say ice, of course blue, okay. I know. Okay, so the maze one does give you a little bit more kind of it kind of makes you think, that one really, doesn't it? In terms of what you need to do. So what I'll do, Daisy, is I'll give you a couple of hints, and then if you're still stuck afterwards, we'll go through it again. Okay, and I'll give you the solution in the Discord. So what you need to do is you need to use a while loop, okay, which you can find from the loops menu. And what you need to do is you need to be checking whether or not the block that's in front of the agent is gold. Okay, so you need to check whether or not the block that's in front of the agent, so agent inspect block forward, is not equal to gold. Okay. You also need to use an if-else statement, so that, very similar to like that second activity where, where he got to a wall and then he had to turn left when he reached a wall, you need to do something similar to that using an if-else statement. And then as soon as he reaches that gold block, you then need to have him destroy it and collect it. Okay? So what I'll do, I'll just finish going through this activity from the second world now, and then as soon as once I finish that, I'll come back to you, and then we'll have another look at it if you're still not sure. Okay? Okay. No worries. Okay. So for this ice activity, so we're inspecting the block down. If it's not equal to ice, then we want the agent to destroy down, and then we want him to move down by 1. So obviously he needs to destroy what's in front of him first before then moving down by 1. As soon as he reaches the ice, we want him to destroy down, and then we want him to collect all of the ice. Okay, so we're going to be saying whilst the agent is inspecting the block that's underneath him and it's not equal to ice, we want him to destroy what's beneath him and then move down by 1 block. And as soon as he reaches the ice, the condition of that while loop is no longer going to be true, so the loop will stop. He's going to break out of that loop, and he's going to move on to destroying down and then collecting all of the ice that's beneath him. Okay, so I'm going to run that code. You can see he's off. There he goes. and then he's collected the ice, it would seem, and the activity has completed. And then you get the opportunity then to digitize the block. So you have to grab it from the agent's inventory, put it into the item hopper, and then you'll see then that it actually appears behind you on the different shelves. So then you have like a digital block. Okay. And then Commander Card Field is going to ask you for a bit more information. It's going to give you a bit more information, and then you're going to carry on with the next activity. So there are 2 more activities to do after that. So what I'd like you all to do in the meantime is have a go in this other world, okay, and see if you can complete the next 2 activities, because once you finish those activities, the bonus activity then for this world is to have a play around in the actual on the actual planet, okay, programming the agent to build different things. So have a go at completing those now for the next few minutes, and then once you've all got to the bonus activity, let me know, and we'll move on after that then to working through the final world, which I think you're all going to fly through because it mainly focuses on how to debug code. Okay, so how to remove the errors from code. So I think you're all going to fly through that one. In the meantime, Daisy, how are you getting on with the maze? Okay, that's all right. Don't worry. It's a really hard one, so don't worry. Okay, what I'll do, I'll pop the solution in Discord for you, and I'll talk you through it. Okay. But there's no need to worry because it is a really hard one, so don't worry. If you heard the sound of a camera snapping then in the voice channel, it's because I'm just screenshotting, and for some reason screenshots on Mac make like a camera sound. Okay, so sorry if it's a bit fuzzy, but I've just popped the solution up in the Discord for you, Daisy. So I'll talk you through it sort of step by step. Okay, so what's happening is we've got our on-chat command, so you're used to that now. And then what you've got beneath that then is a while loop. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but it says agent inspect block forward. That little symbol that comes after it is a not equals to. Okay, so what that means is that instead of it being obviously equals, okay, it's not equal to that. Okay, if you're watching the live stream, I'll zoom in on that symbol for you now so that you can actually see what I mean. So it's like a little, let me put it inside of something so that you can see what I mean. So inside of that. So it's like, it's a not equal to, okay? And then what's happening is we want to make sure that the block that's in front of the agent isn't the gold block in order for it to run the bit of this if statement, okay? Because that's because if obviously once it reaches the gold block, we want him to be able to destroy it and then collect it to end the activity. So what we're checking is if not agent detect block forward. So what that condition is essentially stating to us there is that if there's no block in front of the agent, it means that he's able to move forward by 1. Okay. And of course, what this is all inside of is an if-else statement. So the condition of the if statement is essentially saying, if there is no block in front of the agent, we want him to move forward by 1. Else, okay, which obviously means if there is a block in front of the agent, then we want him to turn left. Okay, so that's what this if statement is doing here. After that, okay, he's going to keep on moving forward until he reaches that gold block. And as soon as he reaches the gold block, we're going to be sort of snapping out of the... yeah, there you go. So Andrew's just posted that in the Discord. So once he reaches that gold block, we're going to be snapping out of that if-else statement, and we're going to be saying destroy forward, and we're going to say collect all, so that he actually gets all of the... or that he collects all of the gold, okay? So does that make sense? Or is there something that you still need help with? Yeah? And is it working? Okay, that's alright. Hopefully that bit of code should work, hopefully. Okay? Then that's alright. The activity that comes after that then, Daisy, is very, very similar, okay? But you've just got two different heights. So the agent's going to be working on two separate heights, okay? Jack, you're still stuck at the second activity of the second map. Okay. I will post the solution for you so that you can take a look at it. And then what I'll do shortly after that is I'll just go through activities 3 and 4. Okay, just post this in here for you, Jack. Won't be a second. So, Jack, this is the solution to the second activity in the second world. Also, Andrew has just put up a really nice diagram which talks about if statements. Okay, so is the condition met? Yes or no? If yes, then execute the code in the if body. If no, execute the code in the else body. That is essentially all an if statement does. Okay. Andrew's just popped that up now, which is very handy. Okay. So I'm sure you're all getting on well with these. Okay, they're quite nice. I'm sure a lot of you have probably already reached that bonus activity by now. But I'll work through activities 3 and 4 with you all now. And then once we've reached the end of that, you should have a chance to sort of play about in the actual case. Well done, Oliver. Fantastic. So have a go for a little while playing about in that on that planet. Okay, and then once I've caught up with you, I'll post the third world in the Discord for us all to have a go at doing some debugging. Okay. So activity 3. We are looking now for magma, essentially. Okay, so we're looking for magma, and then once we find that magma, that's going to be pretty much the end of the code. So we've got our onChat command, we've got our function. Okay, I'm going to call it magma so that I can remember what it is, because remember, giving things meaningful names is important so that you know exactly what's what. And obviously we can see to start off with, well, you can't really see it well on my screen. Let me just move out a bit. There we go. The agent is currently sort of perched not above where he needs to go. So we want the agent to move forward by one step first. Okay. And what we want the agent to do then is keep moving down until he discovers the magma. Okay. So to do that, while loop, and we can say whilst we're not encountering magma, okay, we want the agent to keep moving down, and then as soon as he gets to that magma, the while loop will end, and we'll end up in and we'll complete the activity essentially. So again, instead of using a not block, we can just use the not equal to, which Andrew's posted up in Discord. And we can essentially say while the agent inspects the block that's down and it's not equal to Magma, okay, we want the agent to keep moving down by 1 space. Okay, so I'm going to run that. There he goes, straight down. Eventually, hopefully he'll get there. There he goes, still going. And he's reached the magma, and that's the end of the app. Okay? And then, so that was how we did that one. I can see, Alex, that you're having a lot of fun with, with, I believe, the hopper, which is pretty cool. So the final activity before the bonus activity is, of course, this collecting the magma task. So I'll just run through that one now. Okay, I'll run through that one quickly now, and then if anybody wants any help afterwards on how to get that one done, just let me know. And then I'll pop the third world, the third and final world up in Discord, so that you can all have a chance to play through it. So the goal here is we need to be able to fetch some iron ore, okay? And so again, we're just going to be using a series of while loops and an if statement to do that. And I think one thing to kind of point out at this stage is that you're probably noticing that there's a lot of we're using a lot of the same concepts over and over and over again. Okay, we're using if statements, while loops, repeat loops. We're using a lot of the same thing, and the reason for this is because this is what a lot of coding is actually made up of. We're using a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again. Okay, and this is how a lot of kind of programming in things like Python and C and Java. There's a lot of us just using the same concepts, okay? So they're really, really fundamental, which is why it's really good to kind of get to terms with them using block-based editors, because this is essentially how sort of text-based programming works, okay? Except, of course, you've got to type everything out yourself. So we're going to be fetching some iron. So again, I've got my function. I'm going to call this one iron so that I remember what it's for. And we're going to be making use of while loop. Okay, so we've got our while loop. And of course, what we want to be checking is whether or not there is iron in front, beneath our agent. Okay, so we need to be checking whether or not there's iron beneath the agent, because if there's no iron beneath the agent, then we want him to keep looking for it until he actually finds it. Okay, so again, can use one of these equals blocks. So while agent inspect block down, and that's not equal to iron. Or specifically iron ore, okay? We want to have the agent move forward. Now, of course, we know that the agent may encounter some obstacles, okay? So he needs to be able to destroy things. So he's going to keep on moving forwards until he finds a block, and then he's going to destroy it. So we're going to be using an if statement to check whether or not there is a block in front of the agent. Okay, so while agent detect block forward. So if the agent detects the block that's in front of him, he's got to destroy it so that he has a clear path, and then he's going to move forward by 1. Oops, not that one. So agent move forward by 1. So what's essentially happening here is while the agent is inspecting the block that's beneath him, and it's not iron ore, If there is a block in front of the agent, then he needs to destroy it. Otherwise, he's just got to keep moving forward by one step. So with every iteration of this while loop now, this if statement is still going to run. And it's essentially going to be checking with every iteration whether or not there's a block in front of the agent. And it might be, to start off with, that there is no block in front of the agent. But it's still going to check whether or not there is in the process of the code running. Then as soon as the agent detects a block in front of him, he's going to destroy it, and with every iteration of the while loop, he's going to keep moving forward by one. Once he reaches iron, iron ore, and the condition of the while loop is no longer true, we then need to have the agent destroy down, because the iron ore is beneath him, and then subsequently collect all of that as well. So we've got code there, we've got a nice little algorithm, we're going to be running basically through the map whilst the floor beneath the agent is not iron ore. As soon as the agent detects something in front of him, he's going to destroy it, and with every iteration of the while loop, he's going to keep running forward. Then as soon as the agent inspects the block beneath him and discovers that it's iron ore, it's then going to break out of the while loop's going to stop, and then he's going to destroy it and collect it. And if we run that bit of code now, there he goes. So you can see here now he's had to plow through this pile of whatever that is, and he's keeping on going, he's keeping on going, he's keeping on going. He's discovered now that there's iron ore beneath him, he's collected it, and now he's destroyed it. And of course now we can go ahead and digitize that iron ore by popping it into our inventory and then giving it to the hopper, and then you can see now it appears behind us, iron from Venus. So I can see that a lot of you are having a lot of fun with that, which is cool. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share the final world with you. I'm going to let you all have a go at that final world yourselves to begin with, just so that everybody can get back up to speed, and then I'll talk through. Hopefully we'll have time to cover all of the solutions, but if not, that's okay. Daisy, that's okay. I will come and give you a hand in just a second. No, that's okay. That's fine. I'll come and give you a hand in a second, So what I'll do quickly now is I'll just share the final world with you, which is all about debugging. I'd like you all to try your best in working through this one on your own, see where you get with it. If you do need a hand, give me a shout, and I will help you all out as best I can. But let me just find it. Bear with me 1 second. I'll get it posted up for you. So as I mentioned, this one is all about debugging. So I think you'll all get through this one pretty quickly. But essentially, what's happening with this one is they're going to give you. There we go. So it might take a bit of time to upload. It's quite a big one. There we go. So essentially, with this world, they're going to give you a bit of code that's going to be wrong, and your task is to figure out what the solution is. What I will point out quickly to you all is one of the activities, when I was working through it, it gives you a set of instructions on what to do. I think it's the final activity. It's activity 4. It gives you instructions on what to do, to repair the Mars rover. However, the order that it gives you for the instructions isn't quite correct. So it took me a few attempts to actually figure out why. It is, I think, an error in the Minecraft world. So if you get to activity 4, and you find that it's not working, just let me know, and I will post the correct code in the Discord for you, okay? Because the order that it tells you to do it in is actually wrong. But if you can figure out the solution yourselves, it's absolutely fine, okay? But just in the just bear in mind that it tells you to do it one way, and that's not necessarily the right way, and your agent will end up going to the wrong place. So just let me know, and I can give you the correct code. In the meantime, Daisy, I shall lend you a hand. If I can just get the... There we go. Okay. So, have you worked it out? Fantastic. Okay, let me know. A circle. I can see how that... Why a circle is certainly not something that you would find in Minecraft, Alex. Why is there a circle? I am not sure, but we can roll with it for now. So, have you got it, Daisy? Have you got it to work? You have? Oh, fantastic. Do you want me to post the second world again so that you're able to start working through that one? Or if you like, Daisy, you can go straight to the third world if you like, because the third world kind of covers the second world basically just carries on with what you've just been doing in the first world. So if you want to move on to just doing the debugging exercise, you can just jump straight to the third world if you like. Yeah? Okay, no problem. So I'm going to load up, so whilst everyone is working through that first, that second, no, third world. Yeah, third world we're on now. I'm going to load it up on mine. So we are on block 2, lesson 3. There we go. There we are. So a lot of you probably noticed that when you load in world 3, your Mercury ice and Venus iron are already in your are still there from your digitizer from the previous section and from the previous lesson, and also you're going to be using the debugger, or whilst you're debugging, you'll actually be building up a bigger collection of different objects, okay, of different blocks, as you work your way through the activities. So I'm going to go back to Commander Cadfield. I'm going to run my, say that I'm ready. Here we are. So here we are, back in another glass box again. And I'm going to press C to bring up my code builder. So what's quite important with this particular world is that you have a good read, okay, bar with activity 4 because it's a little bit wrong, that you have a good read of the instructions that it's giving you, because what's happening with this world is it's actually giving you all of the code that you need, but it's wrong. And as I mentioned in the past, debugging code is all a key part of programming, okay? Code very rarely works first time. And so one of the key things, especially it's something that I've definitely learned, okay, through the first year of being in university, is that debugging code is really important, and it's just sort of a part of sort of programming, okay? And it's absolutely fine to make mistakes and things like that, okay? It happens to the best of us, okay? I had to do it lots and lots of times during my first year in university, okay? I had to debug code a lot, and it's all part of the process, okay? So to answer the questions, Daisy, you stay in the box, okay? So you stay in the box. it's just so that you can kind of like have a look around, so that you can program the agent from a distance. If you do want to get out of the box, you can change the settings to being in creative mode, and then you can break the glass to get out. Jack, giving up the second part, that's okay. Don't worry. I know it's quite a tough one, those last few ones, and I know I have to sort of rush through them to sort of keep to time. But I'll pop the solutions for you now, just in case you do in Discord, just in case you do want to go back to them. Okay. Sorry that I had to rush through them at the end there. But I'll post some screenshots in Discord for you for activity 3 and 4. So Jack, if in the meantime, if you want to have a go at World 3, so World 3 is going to give you a chance, like I said, to do some debugging. But I will just pop up those two solutions. So we've got Activity 3, World 2 solution. And I'll put in there we go. So Activity 4, World 2 solution. Oh, there we go. There we go. So Jack, those two solutions are up there now, in case you want to take a look at those. But in the meantime, feel free to move on to World 3 to get some debugging done. So I will, in a second, start working through the first activity in World 3. Just give everybody a bit of time to have a go at working through them themselves. Of course, make sure that you're reading the instructions that it's giving you. Like I said, don't ever be afraid of making, if you do make mistakes, okay? It does happen to the best of us. There's no need to worry about that at all. Okay, it's just something that happens. Okay. Okay. So I'll make a start on going through the solution to World 3 Activity 1. So reading through the instructions, it's saying, so we need the agent to move to the left 4 times, destroy down, and then move down. Okay. So as soon as this code starts, we want the agent to move to the left 4 times, destroy down, and then move down. Well, we can see to start off with that the agent is moving to the right 4 times. Okay, so we need to change that to being to the left, and then we need the agent to destroy down, and then the agent to move down. So those two bits are fine. Okay, it's the first one that was wrong there. Then it says, if the agent detects a stone, we need to say found the stone, destroy forward, and collect all. Okay, so we can see here that this all might look fine, but currently this if statement is operating on the assumption that it will run if the block beneath it is not stone. Okay, so we need to change that to being an equals. And then we can say found the stone, destroy forward, collect all. Okay, and then if the agent does not detect any stone, we say no stone here. Okay, so that's part of the else, so that's fine. And then each time after moving down, the agent needs to move 1 block up, and it needs to repeat 4 times. So we can see now that this if statement is correct. The agent is moving up by 1 each time, okay? but the activity needs to repeat 4 times, and we can see at the moment that the activity is only repeating 3 times, so we need to change that to being a 4. And hopefully, I'll leave that on the screen for a second. No, that's good. That's good. Well done. So you carry on, then Daisy. Move on to the next one. So I'm going to run this bit of code, and with a bit of luck, hopefully, there we go. So that's that. So second activity, again, I'll leave everybody to have a bit of a mess around with that, and then we'll carry on in a second. But this one is about looking for a gold block. Okay. So a couple of errors again in this code that we need to debug, a couple of bugs that we've got to get rid of. So I'll give everybody a bit of time to have a go through that, and then I'll work through the solution. Okay, I hope everybody's getting on okay with that one. So again, a couple of errors. Like I said, for those of you who are on the final activity, I know... Oh, well done, Oliver. Well done. So I know for those of you who might have reached the final activity, if anybody of you are there yet, there is a typo. So don't worry if it's not doing what's expected. But I'll make my way through this second exercise in a second. Sorry, the second activity. We'll start working through this one. So I think there are 4 in total in this one. Let me double check. 4. Yes, there are 4 activities in this one in total. So we'll go through the second one in a moment. Remember, if anybody does have any questions, let me know. Okay. And the second one, well done. Okay, so I'll go through the second one now, whilst everybody's sort of catching up or carrying on to the next few activities. Okay. So we can see fixing the code snippet. So Daisy, if you do need to restart the activity, if you make sure that you're along the bottom of the screen, there's a hotbar. Make sure that you've got the radio, okay, highlighted, so you can use the numbers on your keyboard to get to the first item in your hotbar. Go to the radio and hit sort of right click twice and it should hopefully reset the activity for you. Okay. Now I'll go through the solution on my screen now. So we can see here now, the agent needs to dig down into the surface until it hits a gold block on the left. Well, at the moment, the agent is digging down and it's checking whether or not there's air on the left. So naturally, we need to change that so that it's looking for gold. Okay. And then on the way down, so the agent is just drawing down, then moving down, so that's fine. The agent will detect if stone is in front of it and collect it. Okay. So currently the agent is inspecting the block that's in front of him, so we need to change that to being down. And he's currently checking whether or not it's not equal to just grass. So we need to change that to being equals, and we need to change it to being stone. And then he needs to say found the stone, destroy forward, and collect all. Okay? So that's how we fixed up this one. Oliver, this is the last world now, if that's what you mean. So if you have completed it, well done. And what you can do then is you can go, if I think this one lets you, I think this world lets you actually play around once you've finished it in the actual world. So if you want to do that, that's okay. That's fine, Oliver, no worries. Yes, Daisy. The solution. So it should be on my screen now. I'm not. Can you see what's on my screen at the moment? No. Oh, okay, that's all right. So hang on. What I'll do, I'll just run it to make sure that it works, and then I will can I get my words out? Pop it in Discord for you, okay? So I am facing a. Just need to make sure that mine actually decides that he wants to actually work today. So let's see. It should be, yeah, that should be the case. I'm just, my agent won't start the code off for some reason, so he's just refusing to move at the moment, which is good fun. That's okay, Jack. Thank you for joining in. We'll be back next week, remember. So, thank you for joining. So, let me try and see why my agent just does not want to move today. So the code that I have on my screen is actually the correct code because I've just double checked it versus the solution. But for some reason my agent does not want to actually move at all. He's just completely stuck in one place, which isn't ideal. So let's see if we can find a way around that. Oh, hang on, I found the problem. You see, I've made a mistake myself. Okay. Of course, my agent was checking that while the agent was inspecting the block left and it's equal to gold, he needs to do that. But of course, we need to be checking that it's not equal to gold for him to do that. So if I run that, there he goes. Oops. I know. I know. So he is now saying repeatedly that he has found the stone. Whether or not it actually works at the end is another matter, because I think he seems to have just stopped. So there's obviously another problem with my code somewhere. So I'm going to restart the activity and open up my code builder so I can try and find what the problem is. Let's have a look. Okay, Daisy, no problem. soon as I get this code to actually work for me, I'll share the actual working solution. If agent inspect block down is equal to stone, then say found stone, destroy forward and collect all. Yeah, I mean that should be fine. So let's give it another go. So he's digging. Yeah, I'll pop the code up now, Jack, just as soon as I can get as soon as I can make sure that it's actually working for me. Because unfortunately my agent is just deciding to get stuck, so I'm going to just change my game mode so that I can actually try and see where he's... Oh, I see he's just got stuck. Okay, so my agent is currently stuck. So we shall try and fix that. So Andrew has so Andrew has posted the code that Andrew has popped up on the screen is the correct code, and it is the exact same code that I have on my screen as well. However, my agent just does not want to work today, so apologies. That's a good point. So let's have a go and see if this works. Well, he's getting stuck because... I think he's getting stuck because the blocks... Because he reaches the gold block. So, let's see. Found the stone, agent destroy forward, agent collect all. Ah. So... It's quite interesting because while agent inspect block down is not equal to gold, but if we were to duplicate that, because he reaches the gold block, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be until it hits the gold block on the left. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Has anybody else managed to get a working solution there for exercise 3? Because the solution that's given, for some reason, does not want to work, which is a bit strange. Yeah. Yeah. We'll give it a try. I know that some of you can't see my screen, however, that's what I'm currently trying. On the one where you have the fix, the rover says, oops, the agent. You get that too. Okay. Yeah, so exactly. So, Oliver and Alex, I know you're both on. So, okay, so Daisy, I know you're stuck, Daisy, so we'll get there in a second. Oliver and Alex, that is the exact message that I was getting. So don't worry. It's because the instructions that are given to you are actually wrong. Okay, so bear with me. I will post the solution in imminently and see. So Andrew, I'm not sure if you can see my screen currently. When it catches up, you may find that there's a problem. I've got an idea. We're gonna just try. The block. Oh, okay. Okay. So there is the issue. But the code, I think that is the issue, Andrew, because the agent is looking the wrong direction. Um, yeah. So a lot of you probably got the solution to exercise 3. Well done. Um, so Daisy, I know you're still stuck, so we'll get there. Alex and Oliver, exercise 4. I will just quickly post the solution for that up for you. There is no, is it exercise 4 or exercise 5? Exercise 4. Um, there is a typo, like I said, in the code. Okay, so not in the code, sorry, in the solution that it gives you, which is a bit frustrating. So I will share the actual final solution with you now, and this is the one that will work. Okay. So there you go. So that is the solution that you need. The direction that it tells you to go, in order to place the blocks is actually wrong. So that is the solution that you need in order to actually get to repair the actual rover. Round sun, that is interesting. Daisy, okay, getting out of that hole. Solution, solution for you could be to try change your settings to being into I think it's creative mode, and use that, and then double tap spacebar, and you should be able to fly out of the hole. Okay, that would be my potential solution. Hopefully that works. Meanwhile, I'm here with the intruder, trying to get him to actually follow what I'm saying. So if I fail at this, then it's okay. It's not working, Daisy. Okay. Potential solution. So is it your person who's stuck in the hole, Daisy, or is it the agent? It's you. Okay. So I take it that have you broken out of the glass and you're just sort of trapped? You're on the creative mode, broke out of the glass and accidentally tapped the ground and fell down a hole. Okay. Um, right. Okay. I'm not quite sure how we can fix that. And you're saying that if you double tap space and look up, is there any stone like above you that you could potentially destroy in order to like fly out? Solution doesn't work. Okay. So that one doesn't work either. Right. Do you want to share? So I take it that the code that you've done is is exactly the same as that. So, do you want to just share, if Oliver and Alex, if you want to just share your code, and I'll just have another quick look at it just to see if we can find a fix for it. Daisy, nothing around but darkness. Okay, try and exit and reload the world, and see if that helps. If not, Daisy, then what you can do is exit out of the it's a sort of like I'll repost the world in the Discord. You can load that up and then see how you get on with it the second time, and then because we were only on exercise 2 anyway, you'll only have to fix that code for the first exercise again, so that shouldn't take you too long. So try exiting the world, going back into it, and if you're in the same place, I'll send you the world again, and try and reload it. Right, Oliver's code. Let's have a look. So you've got pair. This is flat confirmed. It is, at least in Minecraft. Okay. Agent inspect block forward not equal to agent move right by 1. If agent inspect block forward is agent move right by 1, agent turn. Okay, Oliver. The error that you've got in your code there is in that if statement. You've got agent move right by 1, agent turn right. You need to change that agent turn right to being agent turn left, and then the third block in that if statement needs to be agent move right by 1, and then you should find that works. So Daisy, if you need to start the world from the start, I will give you the solution to the first one, because we were only on the second exercise anyway. It means that you can just if you just get that first exercise done again, hopefully you can try the second one out. So this is the solution, Daisy, for World 3 Activity 1. And then if you use that to just quickly rush, so get through that first one, then that should be, and then you can do that. Hopefully we can get that second one to work. I know we are coming up to 6 o'clock now, okay? So hopefully, I hope that you've all managed to enjoy today's session. Feel free, if you've got some time this week, feel free to have a bit of a practice. If you haven't finished off these worlds, don't worry, but feel free to have a little bit of a practice at trying to get the worlds, finish off these worlds. But like I said, if you don't have a chance, there's no need to worry. What is the plan now for the next few weeks? I'll just kind of cover what we've been doing, what we're going to be doing. We are, of course, going to be finishing up with Minecraft next week. We are going to be finishing up with Minecraft next week. So we've got this final session, okay, next week, which will be a bit of a challenge for us all to complete. So we're going to be basically applying all of the concepts that you've learned over the last few weeks. I'm basically putting them to the test to see how you all get on. Okay, so that's going to be next week. And then, of course, for 3 weeks after that, there's not going to be any coding club sessions because TechnoCamps are running the Summer of STEM activities. So I know some of you have already signed up, which is really, really good to hear. If you haven't signed up, I definitely recommend you take a look. I'm sure Andrew will post a link for us in the Discord in a second. It's essentially going to be 3 weeks of doing loads and loads of different activities. So there's going to be an activity pretty much during each day over a 3 week period. There might be 1 or 2 days where there's nothing. I'm not too sure. Um, yeah. So lots and lots of different activities there from lots and lots of different delivery officers across Wales. So Andrew's going to be doing a session. Joe and I are going to be doing a session. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different things that are going to be going on over those 3 weeks, and you'll get to meet a whole bunch of the Technocamp's team, which is super exciting. Okay, so definitely recommend signing up to doing that over the summer. Okay, should be great fun. And then of um, at the end of August, there will be on the last Wednesday of August, like usual, there will be the Club M-Spark session. So the coding club will start back up again at the end of August. Okay, so that's the plan for the next few weeks. If you can't get these solutions to work, don't worry. What I'll do is I'll get a document produced which has got all of the debugging solutions done for this. Okay, and I'll get them put up tomorrow. If you do get a chance this week to try and get everything debugged, um, let me know. Okay, I'd love to see what you've been up to. Otherwise, don't worry. Okay, but what will be happening next week is we're going to be setting a challenge for you to program the agents to do lots and lots of different things. Okay, so it's going to be really cool and exciting. Because I know I've seen the worlds that you've been producing so far have been absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to kind of see what you come up with next week. If you have any questions throughout this week, let me know. Okay, remember I'm pretty much I've got Discord open pretty much every day, so if you needed to ask me a question in the Technocamp server, please do so. Okay, otherwise, I think we'll leave things there for this week. So I'm just going to go and stop the